right now, America is going through what some people see as a crisis, but what others people see as an awakening. And we're all having conversations that have been long overdue, and we all need to have them. They may be tough, but they're important. And that's why, especially if we look to the sports world, athletes everywhere are standing up, speaking out, and protesting and trying to make the world a better place because heaven knows we need to do that. And so that's why today we brought back Boomer Mays onto the show. Boomer, I know it's under different circumstances this time, but we're still very excited to have you on. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me on, man.
So let's just get into things. I just want to ask you, we got like your whole background on the last interview, which everyone should check out, of course. But with everything going on right now, have you been personally affected by racism, or has someone you know been affected by it?
In my entire life?
Yeah,
Oh,
same
yeah.
time. Do you have a time you can
Oh,
think
yeah.
of?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I mean, at the age I am now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a night that you can drive out in your car and not, get followed by the police, get pulled over for, tail light or seatbelt, supposedly.
Yeah.
When you're in the store, there's always workers that follow you around. But, I mean, I never see it happen to anybody else, but especially to people of color, that's always going to happen, I think.
Yeah, a lot of I guess I don't want like disrespect, but those I guess smaller situations sometimes where it's almost subtle and they're trying to hide it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know the whole motive for it other than my guess is just race, the
Mm-hmm.
color. But, I mean, it definitely exists. People think it doesn't, but it definitely does.
100%. So let's look into the more athletic kind of things. We've had plenty of people speaking out. Of course, Richard Sherman, Malcolm Jenkins, big guys like that. The two of the Bears, or Acho, sorry. A lot of really good stuff coming from them. A lot of really positive things. But I don't want to focus on negatives, but it's something that's been a talking point is the statement by Drew Brees. Some people see is just ignorant, some people see is racist, but him still saying that he doesn't side with those that kneel during the national anthem. Can you give us your take and your opinion on his statements and his apology?
Yeah, for him saying that, it's like a 50-50 deal. I mean, I've only spoke to him once, so I don't really know him, like, fully.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to guess, he's probably somebody that, I don't know his background, but he's probably somebody that wasn't around a whole, a diverse community, I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can see where half of that's coming from. The other half of that, I think personally, might sound bad, but I think he's just somebody wanting to say something to kind of get a little attention on him,
Mm.
Build a little PR, kind of get involved in the limelight, of course, of what everything's going on, being one of the first or the few football players to speak about it just in any way. I mean, that's going to get him some kind of attention.
Sure.
But, I mean, as far as apology, if he comes out with an apology 24 hours after he said it, I mean, he didn't really mean it, or he doesn't really mean the apology. So,
Mm.
I mean, you can take that with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, that seems a little too staged for me.
Okay.
Either he's like that, and he said that, and received kind of some kind of backlash from it, and they, coaches, GMs probably say, hey, you got to, have an apology, say something to kind of take it back, which I can see that happening. Or the whole thing is just like staged, in my opinion, just so you can get some kind of attention for it.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you can take it as half and half, really.
Yeah.
For
No,
sure.
Boomer, what do you think of kind of the whole idea of a lot of people have been speaking out, but a lot of people have been saying the louder part that's been showing out more people is kind of the athletes, since we're on the topic of sports, the athletes who haven't said anything. What do you think about more of the athletes that haven't really said anything or haven't spoke up about any of the problems going on right now in the world?
Well, in all honesty, the ones that haven't spoken out, it's kind of smart on their part because they're still under contracts with, the professional leagues of NFL, MLB, NBA. You can't really speak out without getting some kind of penalty for that. they want their professional athletes to be just an athlete. They don't want to bring anything else into it. So them being quiet, I mean, they're looking out for themselves because I mean they still got to have a job. They still trying to play, so they will see a penalty for talking out. They'll get more reporters, coming after them, wanting more information, and a lot of those GMs and owners and coaches, they don't want that. So, I mean, I think it's wise on their part for not speaking out about it.
It's a good take on that one. There's a lot of people where not necessarily disagree. They say that silence is just as bad as saying racist remarks. Do you not believe that, or is there truth to that statement?
I mean, there is some truth to it. I mean, if you ignore something, knowing there's a problem, I mean, you're just as bad as everybody else because you're fueling and keeping it going by not saying anything. If there's a problem, and you don't say it, I mean, that just keeps the problem going. It's only until you address a problem, then it stops and you can find a solution for it. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And, I mean, that's true with any problem, even the smallest things in the world. So,
very good point. So just today, on the Friday that we're recording this, Roger Goodell released about a minute and a half, 2 minute video, pretty much stating that the NFL made a mistake, that they were wrong essentially in the fact that they didn't support the peaceful protests that were going on. Was it 4 seasons ago now? It seems like forever ago now, but it was recent. Especially the Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem. They had a statement pretty much saying that they were wrong, that they should support their athletes, and that they were wrong about Kaepernick as well. What is your sentiment from Goodell? Like, does he mean it, or is he just saying it?
I can't speak for himself because, obviously I'm not him.
Of course.
But from what we've seen as both a player and from fans' perspective, I mean, that was the biggest deal. Kneeling, I mean, they obviously had a problem with it. I mean, they won't let one of the best quarterbacks, in the NFL back into play because of that. So my guess is the only reason why he's coming out with an apology is simply they're losing probably money because of it. They know that's probably going to threaten their ticket sales. So, I mean, the backlash from, the community, the people, the fans, that's probably fueling him to change his mind now. But, I mean, if it wasn't for this, would he have said that? I mean, it's been, 3-4 years now? And if he's coming out with an apology in less than a week because of the riots, I mean, that's just, impeccable timing? I mean, if it wasn't for the riots, I doubt he would have come out with that video. So, I mean, he's obviously getting some backlash, but, like I said, again, I can't speak for him, but that's what I see.
So you see a man pretty much just trying to save face.
Video that came out from the players yesterday, do you think that kind of had any effect on the NFL making this decision to finally come out with that statement?
Yeah, because, it's similar to that lockout the NFL had. That was back when I was still playing college ball. It was about 8 years ago, the NFL lockout, where every player refused to play. So they've seen that, and they've seen it as a threat of them having to go through that again on top of the Corona deal. So they're kind of like, we got to play this smart kind of deal. So that was a wake-up call for them to see the players do that. So, I mean, it makes them, it really raises the red flag to them, like, hey, we have a chance of possibly not playing on top of the Corona deal if we ever figure this out. So, I mean, that's definitely a wake-up call.
Now, is Roger Goodell making this statement, whether it be from good intentions, whether it be from saving face, with him making this statement before every other league, does that mean that the NFL, I guess, cares more about the situation, has more urgency in actually making real change in America? And should other leagues follow suit, or should other leagues step up even more than what the NFL has done?
Well, that's two reasons. One, the NFL is the next professional season to come up because, the basketball would end or would be ending, one of the two. And then, baseball season would be, in the middle. So the next professional season to come up would be the NFL. So it has to be his time to say that. Now, on the other hand, football, I think, professional football, NFL, started the whole kneel deal, which, the Black Lives Matter deal, they're pretty much the pinnacle of this whole kind of movement kind of deal. So everybody's looking at the NFL because everybody remembers that they actually started, the players did, especially Kaepernick, started this, this speaking up deal about it. So it has to be their place to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Now with Colin Kaepernick being brought, of course, anytime something racial happens, anytime there's a little controversy, Kaepernick's name is always brought up. Does Kaepernick still, let me just ask it like this, does Kaepernick deserve to be on the NFL roster right now?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a good enough player. I mean, he doesn't get any trouble off the field.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen him play before.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in the NFL, has been on NFL teams, doesn't get any trouble. I mean, yeah, the only thing that's keeping him from it is kneeling for a minute and a half while they say the national anthem.
Mm.
If you can believe that.
Right.
For sure. And I think that's kind of a very underrated statement. A lot of people, a lot of players who end up out of the NFL or they retire, a lot of them end up, even if it's not a big deal, they end up in some type of trouble, whether it's just like they got into a little altercation, something. They pop up in the media for something. But for Kaepernick, the only thing we've seen from him outside of the kneeling is, he donated, he had a deal with Nike, like, there's stuff like that, workouts.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen anything negative, and I think that's a really underrated statement.
Yeah, and you know what? You won't see anything negative from him. Because I've never met him, but I've had teammates that are on the 49ers are currently there, and they know him. Now, I haven't talked to them about him, but from what I've seen, he's not that type of person to go out and get in trouble. He's just not.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing they have to go off of is that, like I said, that minute and a half of him kneeling before the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, no one ever asked him, as people actually ask him, what did the commissioner say to you? What did the GM say to you? I mean, I personally never heard it. I'm sure they have. But, I mean, that don't make no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's never failed a drug test. He didn't punch out a girl in the elevator like Ray Rice. I mean, I don't think he has a bunch of DUIs. Doesn't have gun charges. All he did was take a knee.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's forever probably never going to play in the NFL again.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever somebody hears the name NFL or think of the commissioner or 49ers, they'll think of Kaepernick before they think of anything else.
So
I mean,
Kaepernick is almost like a martyr for his cause.
Say that again?
He's almost like a martyr for his cause then. Kind of sacrificing his own career.
Yeah, you know what? He's a poster boy for pretty much what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So, in modern history, if they show a highlight video of everything that's going on in the past 10 years, on the highlight video, we'll have him taking a knee and then showing the tabloids what they're saying about him.
For sure.
I mean, that's just true.
For sure it would. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to take a second, just say my thing that I just want, not complete, but just admit that when Kaepernick first started to kneel, I viewed it as disrespectful. But as the weeks passed, I slowly realized that I got the point of it is that it's not that he's intentionally trying to disrespect the flag or the anthem. He's using his platform to make a statement, and we can't have this sort of hypocrisy when we say we want peaceful protest when taking a knee is one of the most peaceful things you can do. Right?
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
He can.
Like
sure, it causes controversy, but it's not hurting anyone. It's not harming anyone. And at the end of the day, if you want to call yourself a patriot, I mean, everyone that watches this video sees the flag hanging up behind me. A real patriot is someone. There's a reason that we have the right to protest in the First Amendment, and he's just exercising his constitutional right. And as American, we have to recognize that and respect that. You don't have to like Kaepernick, but you have to respect him for what he has done.
Yeah, and like you said again, him taking a knee, you felt like that was disrespectful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't taking a knee on the American flag. He didn't go out and rip up and light the American flag on fire.
Exactly.
He didn't even say anything.
Exactly.
He wasn't even talking. Yeah, all he was doing was being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever talks about the hundreds or thousands of people in that stadium that was in the concession line during the national anthem, or in the bathroom, or in the parking lot drinking or smoking. No one ever says nothing to them.
That's a great point.
They show the national anthem for the Super Bowl on TV. How many people actually at home when they're at their Super Bowl party stand up for that? None of them. No one ever says nothing to them.
That's a great point right there, Boomer. I see that every time. Like
a great statement I saw today about it was, and you guys could speak on it after. But I heard a statement that says the flag and the national anthem are just that, a flag and a song. If the reasoning behind it, the togetherness and everything that it stands for, if we don't have that, then it just becomes a flag and a song. And so when you're kind of going against it, that's more unpatriotic than the taking the knee, is because you're kind of breaking up the whole thing that flag and song is based off of. If the meaning is, you think that is worse, then it's, as I said, the bigger problem is the people who are kind of destroying the image of that flag and song itself.
Oh, yeah. I agree with what you're saying. I see it 100% what you're saying. But on the other side of that, I see what they mean. Because I have friends that are Native American, and we never hold up their flags. I mean, that's how that flag came to be. The red on the flag stands for the blood the natives got killed. And then the original stars were 13 for the 13 colonies. Now, I think our flag looks great, personally. Compared to all the other countries, it's a good-looking flag.
It's a beautiful flag.
But
hell of a looking flag.
But like I said before, I told someone earlier today that, every game I played in, there's always been either a Canadian flag. In college, we actually came out with an American flag and a Mexican flag. I said, we never hold up a Native American flag. We never hold up any of their tribes. But yet, those are the people of the native land. And we never hold up anything with them. So I don't see that as, taking a knee is disrespecting, the people that fought for the country and that. There's nothing like that. It's everything that came with it afterwards. Because, there's been several people of color that have gone into the military, army, fought for the country, and they come back and not be able to drink out of the same water fountain. So that's what I think he's pointing out.
Great point.
But, that's what American is. Americans are, what do they call it? Puritans in public and perverts in private. It's kind of the same thing.
I haven't heard that one, but that's a good one.
That was a good one.
That's a quote right there.
I didn't come up with that quote, but I heard it before.
Well, we can quote that in quotations, Boomer Mays. Then underneath Boomer Mays, we'll put the person that actually came up with it. Yeah. I love it, man. Listen to us right now. We're preaching, straight preaching right now. You feel me? Can I get hallelujah?
No. Okay, we're done with that. Okay.
Oh, you bastard. Okay. See, with all this happening right now, though, we can talk from an athletic perspective. We can talk about what we can do as athletes, or what we can do just as American citizens. But, Boomer, what can we do to create lasting change in this country?
Simple. We got to address the problem. The first step in any problem is the one step that everybody misses, and why the problem never gets solved. Is the first step is accepting that there is a problem. Then you can find a solution for it. People, they don't think there's a problem with anything, especially if it doesn't affect them. And that right there, I think, is the whole key to it all. You have to realize there are problems, not just with this, with anything, and then you can take the proper steps to addressing it and solving it.
Great. Maybe that's why football is one of the most beautiful things in the world, because all of us have plenty of experience. Boone, of course, has more experience than me and you, Jalen. He's definitely a little better.
Yeah.
But But we all have the same experience. One of my favorite takeaways, and it's a takeaway for most athletes I talk with, especially football players, is the brotherhood of the sport. Because
Mm-hmm.
we're all dying on that field. We're all together in the same locker room. We're all dripping blood, sweat, and tears in that weight room. And we all know what it's like to work, but there's like bond that forms between all of us. And it's on the gridiron, it's in the locker room, it's in the weight room that white doesn't matter, black doesn't matter, race doesn't matter. It just matters about your effort and how much you're willing to work and how much you're willing to be coached. And it's like and maybe it's just because I'm trying to live in the perfect world, but that's why football is so great that it's equal. We're all mostly on equal playing fields.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's why the best movie of all time, in my opinion, is Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans? You like that one, huh?
It's my favorite movie. I think I've seen it about 20 times now.
Yeah, he never shuts up about it.
Yeah, that definitely is a good one.
Yeah, Denzel
What's your
Washington's a great
favorite
guy
football
too.
movie of all time?
You said what?
What's your favorite football movie of all time? A little off topic, but we can sneak it in.
Yeah, that's a hard one because there's been so many good ones. I think the most recent one I was thinking about today was The Program, just because.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just because Omar Epps kept fumbling the ball, so they made him carry it to class, and everybody had to knock it out of his hands.
When he dropped the ball in class, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Of course, I think that movie is one of the most accurate about the sport, along with Remember the Titans, of course. But yeah.
We Are Marshall, a great movie. True story too. It's always the ones that are based on true story like that hit hard.
Yeah.
Never Knock Friday Night Lights. That's a classic.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah, Friday Night Lights is pretty good.
Yeah. I just want to bring Remember the Titans because, of course, it's just a movie. It's somewhat in fiction. Of course, a lot of the things that were depicted in that movie did happen during those times, but it's in times like these where America can learn a lot from that movie, where you only really succeed. America is a country. We're all just one giant 350 million person team. A little over the 53-man roster limit, but it's whatever. And it's practice squad included, but it's just a big-ass practice squad. We're all on the same team. We're all working towards the same goals. We're all striving to be the best country in the world and the best people we can be. And it's the fact that it's racism is one of the things that holds us back, because if we can't all unite and if we can't work together, because a team is only as strong as its weakest link, and until we can bring up that link, we're never going to really see our full potential.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Boomer, do you have any last statements or anything that you would like to leave us and the viewers with regarding these protests or anything else that you'd like to bring up?
Regarding the protests, I mean, the biggest thing I think everybody's been talking about, like recently in the past day, is how many people have been looting rather than actually protesting. And I don't know what stealing has anything to do with anything, but I mean that's just random to me. You get mad, you can go steal. So.
All right. Well, Jalen, you have any last remarks for Boomer?
No, I just thank you for always being on here. It's the second time. Hope to have you on here a couple more times, especially after you end up signing that contract.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for being on again.
Of course.
Oh, man, thanks for having me.
All right, Boomer. Thank you so much for your time, like Jalen said. Thank you for everyone listening and tuning in, because this is a hard conversation to have, but once again, it's something that we all need to talk about. And as Boomer reference to, is that one of the first step to change is embracing the fact that we have a problem. And we do. There is a problem of racism in this country, and we can only move past it and build from it once we really face it and accept it. So with that being said, thank you guys for listening in today. Another great interview on the Fourth and Long podcast. Of course, you can check us out at www.thefourthlong.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, all that fun kind of stuff. But we thank you so much for joining us again, and we will see you guys soon.